Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. The webinar will begin in just a few short moments, but first I just want to mention that you can ask your questions in the Q&A chat at the bottom of your screen. Also, you will receive an email in a few days with a copy of the recording, including 1 CPD credit. We will be playing 2 videos today, T3 Trust and e-signatures back up to cloud with a short pause in between. Thank you and enjoy. Today's webinar will be on T3 returns, so how to complete and file a T3 return and the T3 slips in ProFile. Let's first configure the e-file options for the T3. Let's go into ProFile. In order to configure the T3 in e-file options, we go into the e-file menu, Options, and here you're going to see T3 FX. So both the T3 and FX transmitter information, contact information, e-file information is all entered in the same spot. So here in the T3 FX contact information, it is the same as this contact information, so they will auto-populate each other. The XML directory can be left blank as it will automatically save the XML into the file folder that you save your T3s. So you can browse here and select file path of your preference. Usually it's used for batch filing slips. Say OK. For the transmitter, here you're going to enter the transmitter identification and then the federal transmitter number. It starts by MM followed by 6 digits, then your account number, and then your web access code. All these are provided by CRA, so if you do not have them, then you must contact CRA in order to request an account number, transmitter number, and web access code. For Quebec, the Quebec transmitter number is provided by Revenu Quebec, and it starts by NP followed by 6 digits. You can also select the source of the RL slips used, so A, B, C, or D. eFile Internet, this is your Internet eFiler credentials, so your CRA identification, eFile online number, and password. For those of you who file Revenu Quebec slips, so the RL slips, here you will enter your slip numbers provided by Revenu Quebec. These slip numbers are usually 8-digit numbers that you have to enter here. MR69 Internet. This is the identification for the MR69. In order to e-file the MR69 online, you will need a netfile QC number, which is usually the same as your CRA online e-filer number, and an access code. So this access code is 6 digits only, and again provided by Revenu Quebec. And then finally, internet file. This is automatically set to default. This is the web service that's used, so we just leave it as default. When you're done completing the information under the T3 FX tab here for transmitter and e-file, everything else, then you select OK, and that's the configuration for the online e-file for T3 and the T3 slips. Let's take a look at how to open and complete a new T3 return. In ProFile, we go to the File menu, New, and then select T3. Then the T3 information form, and which is the year of, so 2021 or 2022, trust information, opens and is ready to be filled. You can also select a new T3 return by clicking on the little drop-down arrow here beside the new return, and then you can select your T3 return from here. You can also choose to open an older T3 module, so from 2019 as far as 2009. As a tax preparer, you can now complete the T3 trust information. So as you see here, the basic information and residency. So the T3 trust account number if you have one, if not, then you leave it blank. The filing tax year. The trust type, this needs to be completed as well. So you just select from the list here on the T3 trust type. as well as the rest of the information, like such as prepare, but the prepare information goes in the options environment. All the basic details for the entities are completed here. As you can see, there are yellow highlighted fields. This means that these fields need to be completed. You have to enter information or data. If you see here, I will choose a province. Now my field is no longer yellow. So once the information is complete, the yellow will disappear from the field. A small tip, if you hover your mouse over the yellow field, it will tell you what information is missing. So for example, here it's please provide the valid trust account number. The next field here is please provide the name of the trust. So if you hover your mouse over the yellow fields, you'll get a message letting you know what information is missing or incomplete. Once the trust information is complete, you will see the information flow to the T3 return. Then you can scroll down and you can see that there are questions that you'll need to answer, and then you can complete your tax return. There are different forms that you can use in order to enter your income. So if you use the Form Explorer, either the button up here on the top or F4 shortcut on your keyboard, and then click on Income here, and you'll see these are all the forms that you can use to enter your income. So there's T5 income, T3 income, rental income, business income, and other income that is used to record income from other slips that you cannot enter directly into the T3 return. You'll also need to enter your beneficiaries and the allocation. So in the Form Explorer, you're going to select number 5, beneficiaries, and then beneficiary, and then you're going to fill out the information on the beneficiary details. You can use more than one slip if you need, and you just use the scroll bar. And then you enter the beneficiary information, and the income will flow from either the T3 slips or other income that you may have entered. In order to allocate the income from beneficiaries, then you're going to need to use the allocation form. So again, F4 or Form Explorer, number 5, allocation, and then here you're going to select the options for allocation. So either share, other, or allow, and then automatically allocate expenses, and then you'll see the amounts flow from the income that you've already entered, and then you can enter your allocation of expenses here. You'll see a little bit below here that there's description, and a little bit lower that there's Quebec allocation as well that will autofill from any income entered for Quebec. Again, in the Form Explorer, you'll find that you'll have the returns and schedules on number 1. So all your schedules that you need to complete or any other forms that you're looking for will be found here. Or under Other, there are other forms here that you may need. Filing as well. There's the letter, there's the authorization, clearance certificate form, request for loss carryback. You can also go through all the forms and just to make sure you haven't missed anything, or if you're looking for something specific. You can also manually enter the name of every form here. So if you want to go other income, you just hit enter. Or if you're looking for a form, you're not sure the name, but you want to enter a keyword, you can type it in here. So for, say, dividends, I type in dividends and it'll pull up the forms that I can enter my dividends in. And also you can search by line. So if you know what line the amount has to go in or the data has to go in, then you can type the line here. Going back to the Form Explorer under the filing section here, you're going to see a lot of forms that you're going to use frequently. So you also have the audit summary, the consent form, the election to tax income in the trust, direct deposit, request for loss carryback, other forms such as this clearance certificate. A lot of these forms you're going to use frequently. So you can also go in all and you can search by category. Here you see where all the forms and schedules under return plus schedules, and then if you scroll down you see all the forms for the income, and then if you can continue you see all the ones for deductions, credits, beneficiaries, filing, and other. Let's look at how to internet file a T3 trust return and the T3 slips. Once you have completed your T3 trust return, we're going to go back into the info form and take a look under the filing section. Here you have the taxation year, and also there are questions for e-filing that you need to answer. So e-file the T3 return is yes, e-file the T3 RCA, e-file the T3M, and do you want a T3 APP filed? Going back to e-file the T3 RCA, this form is for retirement compensation arrangement. Not all of you will need it, but it's there and then you can file it if you are required. Next is the T3M. This form is for environmental trust income tax return. So if you have an environmental trust, then you will use this form and you can file it as well. On to the T3 APP. This is the T3 application for a trust account number. So if you do not have a trust account number, then that form is used to apply for one. This is your trust account number. This is where it goes. If you do not have one, then you can use this form to apply for one. If you do not have a trust account number, you cannot e-file the T3 trust return. You will need to paper file it. In order to e-file the T3 return, you'll need to go to the T3 e-file form here, the e-file information for trust. If any of these questions are answered yes, then they are excluded from the T3 e-file. They all must be answered no in order to qualify for the T3 e-filing. Now that you're ready to e-file your T3 trust return, you're going to open the auditor to check for eligibility. So if you have any wordings or issues, then you're going to need to sign off of them. So here I have some warnings that I will need to sign off. Same with here. These are for Quebec, so I will take care of them. I'll take care of them now. That way they're resolved. So now the only errors that I have under the summary is my Quebec identification number is not valid, which is common because I'm just using a generic one that's provided here, and my RL16 slip numbers. That's also because I have not entered anything yet. So now that I want to file my T3 trust return, open up my T3, go over it real quick, make sure everything's okay, and I go into e-file menu, transmit T3 return. Here it says choose your return filing type, so I'm transmitting T3 return, T3M, or the T3 RCA. So we are transmitting the T3 return. We hit start, and then of course it's processing. And this is where I would get either my e-file confirmation or failed due to an error, which is common because I do not actually have the ability to e-file my T3. For Quebec residents or for Quebec T3 trust returns, the TP 646 cannot be e-filed. You can only paper file the trust return for Quebec. Now on to filing T3 slips. In your T3 slip here, you'll see all the information that you completed in the beneficiary. You'll also need to verify that your T3 summary is complete and there's no missing information. Also, you'll find the instructions to completing the T3 summary and filing the T3 summary. So where to file the summary needs to be mailed to the address specified here. Now, to e-file the T3 slips, you go into e-file menu, transmit slips, and then it'll bring you through the ProFile e-file wizard if it's not already complete. So you'll need to complete it here. Then click finish. Here it's gonna say choose the slip type. So T3 slips, NR4 slips, RL16 slips, and then it's either original, amended, or canceled. For us, for the original, so I select T3 slips, and then on the bottom here I click start. Then you're going to get processing your return. Then it's going to bring you to the disclaimer internet file transfer for the XML. It can take a few seconds. Here we go. Then you're just going to read up this real quick. You're going to see that your XML is available at this location, so it's already automatically populating. So you click I agree, and then you're going to have to enter your account number and the web access code that's provided by CRA. Your account number is the trust account number that you saw in the information form. Then you'd hit next, and then you'll receive a confirmation from CRA that the slips have been accepted, or you'll receive an error message. So you can print that for your records, and then you hit close. Now, if you need to file amended or cancel the T3 slips, you'll need to go into the beneficiaries form. So let's open that up here, and you're going to see type of slip. So you're going to select from the drop down either amended or canceled, and then you're going to go into e-file, transmit slips, and this is where you're going to select amended and then continue again with e-filing your amended slips. It'll be the same thing for canceled. You go into the beneficiaries form, you select canceled from the drop down. You don't cancel any data, you don't erase any amounts that you've entered in the income, you're just canceling the slip. So the slip needs to have the original data in order to be canceled. So again, you just select canceled and then continue with filing your canceled slips. Now, if I need to amend my T3 return, I will have to complete a T3 adjustment request form. A T3 amendment cannot be e-filed, it can only be paper filed. So if you see here, this is what we're going to fill out. So we're going to start with going to the audit, snapshot, you're going to select new, and then you're going to see snapshot number 1, you're going to select OK and close. Then you're going to go into your return and make the changes you need to make. So I am just going to make this change for an example. The amounts, the totals that are changed, you're going to see them in a salmon color, and it's going to say snapshot and then change from one amount to the other. Then you're going to go back into the T3 adjustment request form. I'm going to scroll down a little. In the line number and return schedule here, you're going to right click and select adjust from snapshot. It will automatically fill the lines that have been changed because of the amounts you've changed. And then this is what you're going to need to complete. So you're going to enter the details of the adjustments if required. You're going to print this out, and then your trustee or authorized person will need to sign. And then you're going to send this by mail to the specified address with any schedules or slips that need to be attached. You'll see the instructions on how to complete this form below here, and the address and where you'll need to send it by paper. It's all written here. Now, if you do not want to e-file your T3 return, you want to internet transfer the XML to CRA, then what you're going to do is you're going to log into the CRA site, into this CRA web page here, how to file a T3 return. So this website up here, you can just take it down for your notes. And then you're going to scroll down where you see steps to file a T3 return with Internet File Transfer XML. So you just click on the drop down arrow, and then to submit electronically, go to Internet File Transfer XML. So it will bring you to the same disclaimer Internet File Transfer as earlier. So you just have to read the disclaimer. You select I agree, and then again you're going to need your trust account number and a web access code to be able to continue. So you can select need a web access code here if you don't already have one, and then contact CRA in order to apply for one. Once you have entered in the required information, you just click next, and then it will bring you to the same web page where you need to upload your XML that you saved from the return. So once you've uploaded the XML, you click continue or next, and then CRA will provide you with a confirmation number, so you can print that page for your records. Just a quick note that you can locate your T3 XML in your C users, your name, documents, my profile data, and your T3 2021 folder. This is for internet filing purposes. So if you're going to upload your XML directly to CRA website, then this is where you're going to find it. For Quebec, you can internet file the RL16 slips. To do so, you just make sure that you have your MRQ slip numbers entered here, and then you go into eFile, Transmit Slips. Here you're going to select the RL16 slip, data type is original, and then Start. You're going to see it's processing your returns or slips. And then you'll receive here a confirmation from Revenue Quebec that your slips have been successfully e-filed to Revenue Quebec. Here I have an error that my Quebec identification number is not valid, which is normal because I use just a generic one. And then you can print it off for your records. Now let's look at how to print a T3 trust return and the T3 slips. And now on to printing. In order to print the T3 return, you're going to go to File menu and then select Print or Print to PDF. So we're going to select Print. And here you're going to see that that's selected in the multiple jobs is T3 and TP646. The TP646 is for Quebec filers, so we'll just concentrate on the T3 for now. So you'll see here what's selected is the T3 for file standard, the T3 for client standard, and the T3 for CRA standard. So if you need to print the CRA copy and send it by mail as opposed to e-filing, then you would select just the T3 for CRA. And these are the forms that are automatically selected by default that will need to go to CRA. So all of these will print. If you just want to print a copy for your client, then you would select this one and you're going to see all the forms that are included in the print. Same thing for the file. If you want to print a copy for your own files, then you would select T3 for file and then all these forms are selected. If you want to select other forms or remove some forms, then just click Advance here and then you'll see the columns 1, 2, and 3. So column 1 is for the file, column 2 is for the client, and column 3 is for CRA. So you can just unselect the 3 and 2 and keep the 1 or the 2 or the 3, or depending on what you want to print. So I'm going to print the copy for the client. So all these forms here, you see them that are all blank because we unselected them in the simplified. So now you're going to select the forms that you want to print. So you can just select T3 information, you can select the summary or whatever it is that you want to print for your client. Then you hit print. And then I have selected my Microsoft Print to PDF as my default printer. So I'm going to print it to my desktop just because, T3, and then I select save. And now my T3 has printed. So now I can open my PDF that I printed my T3 to, and I see all the forms that I selected for printing. If I want to print the Quebec return, I go again to File menu, Print, and here I will select TP646. And then as you can see here, we're still in the advanced settings. So 1 is for the file, 2 is for the client, 3 is for Revenue Quebec. So if I just want to print the copy for Revenue Quebec, because again the TP646 has to be paper filed and cannot be e-filed, so I just select column 3 and then print. And again I have Microsoft Print to PDF, so I will select where I want to print it with the name and then save, and then I'm going to go open my PDF. And here is my Revenue Quebec copy of my TP646. So you can see that it's the keying summaries and other forms and schedules that are necessary for filing to Revenue Quebec. Now I prefer to use a PDF printer when I'm printing my returns or my slips. However, if you want to change the printer, then you go into File menu, Print Setup, and here is where you're going to change your printer. So make sure you're under the T3 tab. Remove the Always Use Default Printer, click on the category, and then you're going to change your printer to, say, your paper printer, the one you want to print to. So again, click on the next category, change the printer, and again, change the printer. And then you say OK, and then it'll keep your printer as default printer after. Now on to printing slips. In order to print your slips, you're going to go into File menu and select Print Slips. You're going to see here it's selected T3, and then print set is paper filing or magnetic media. You can select which one you want. It's original, it's selected. Here you're going to select copies that you want to print or that you don't want to print, and then the notes, the summary for your records, and then print. And then again, I have the PDF selected. So I'm just going to print them PDF to my desktop. And then here my slips have printed. So everything that I selected in the copies have printed. So my summary, including the instructions, including my 2 slips. Printing the RL slips is similar just to printing the regular slips, so the federal slips. So you can select either paper filing or magnetic media. And the slip type, you're going to select RL16. Select the name, original, and then you're going to select the copies that you want to print. Then you select print. As I have PDF, I will save it to my desktop and then review my printout. And here are my RL16 slips. Again, you can switch the printer by going to File menu, and then you're going to see Print Slips Setup here, and then you're going to be able to adjust it from here. Again, paper filing or magnetic media. You can auto-select what's going to print, remove always use default printer, and again, you can change your printer here for which copies you want to print where. You can also visit our community webpage on profileIntuit.ca. We have a terrific article on file a T3 return and T3 slips. So you can just scroll through the article here and it guides you step by step on how to e-file your T3 return and T3 slips. We have now come to the end of our webinar. Thank you for watching. For more profile support or inquiries, please visit our website at profile.intuit.ca. We will take a few moments to finish answering any remaining questions or any new questions that come along. Hello, and thank you to everyone who has joined us today. We are going to be learning about e-signatures and ProFile, so through either DocuSign or Adobe Sign. Also on how to back up to cloud. Let's begin with DocuSign. In order to use the e-signature feature in ProFile, you must connect to your Intuit account. So in ProFile, we go to Online menu, Sign In. Here you're going to see the Intuit Accountant sign-in window. So you will either sign in to your current Intuit account or you can create one if you don't already have one. So here you have the sign in. So you use either your email or user ID plus password, or down here you can create an account. So if you click on create an account, it'll ask for your information. So it just takes a few seconds in order to create your account. So now that my account is created, I'm ready to sign in. So I have entered my email as my user ID, and then you enter your password, and then sign in. This only takes a couple seconds. And now you're going to select your business. So you're going to see most of you will have one. So you're going to select the business that you want, and then connect business. And then here you'll see success. You're all set. So now you click finish. So now in order to connect to either DocuSign or DocuSign, you go to the File menu, e-signature, and Connect. And here, this is where in the integration options, this is where you're going to see the e-signature connection. So either DocuSign or Adobe Sign. So first we're going to start with DocuSign. So you see here, get started by connecting your existing DocuSign account. No account? Get one here. So if you don't have a DocuSign account already, then you click this button here. It says get one here. And then this page will open. It says DocuSign. Profile users get to try DocuSign for free. And then, so you just create your account here, your DocuSign account here, and then get started. And then you'll receive an email on how to get started with DocuSign, and they'll also send you the pricing for bundles for the year or monthly. So the bundles look something like this. So you can either see the amounts by annual, so $10 a month for $120 annually, or you can go by monthly and how much it'll cost you by month, depending on how many you're going to use and how often. So, and then it shows you all what's included in each bundle. Once you are done creating your DocuSign account, if you don't have one already, you come back to Profile and then Connect here. And then your DocuSign account is going to open. So here you're going to enter the email address that you used to sign up for DocuSign. Then you hit Next, and then you're going to enter your password that you created when you created your DocuSign account. Once you've entered your password, sometimes you'll get this message where you need a verification. So you just have to go into your email, or you might, for yourself, it might be receive a text. It depends. So you just have to enter your verification code. And then click Verify, and then it'll connect to your DocuSign account. Once you are successfully signed in, you'll get this message where it says Profile successfully connected to DocuSign. Please close this tab and return to Profile. So now back in Profile, I can see that I am now connected to DocuSign, and then it shows me my account. So now I say OK, and now I'm ready to open a file and send any forms or documents that I need to send to my clients. So in Profile, I open up the tax return to whom I want to send documents to. So in the File menu, e-signature, there's two options here. I have Collect e-signature and then Dashboard. So I'm going to go to Collect e-signature, and here you're going to see the attachment. So by default, it will select these forms here. So the T183 authorized rep, because this is a Quebec return, it's also requesting the MR69 and TP1000. I can also attach by clicking on this box with 3 dots here, and it says please note password protected PDFs are not supported by e-signature. Make sure not to include the password protected files. So I can click do not show this again and then go to OK, and here I can select what PDF documents I also want to attach. So I'm just gonna click one, for example, and then it's attaching my document, and now I'm going to go to send to DocuSign. You see here it's creating the envelope, updating the documents, uploading, and then my DocuSign opens with my documents attached. So here in the DocuSign, I can use the signature posted here in order to show the customer or the client where I want them to sign. So now I've posted that there, and if there's more forms I need them to sign, then I just scroll down through the forms and show where I need the signature. So again, I take the stamp, I post it here, and it shows the customer where I want them to sign. So once that's done, now I'm ready to send these documents to my client. So now I hit send, and then it says sending, and then it says successful. And then you can, well, there's a rating here that you can do for DocuSign, but that's up to you. Once my documents are sent to my client, it'll say that the e-signatures are waiting here, and they're waiting for them to be complete. So in the meantime, what happens is the customer receives an email with the documents attached that they need to sign. So once they've signed electronically, they'll have a finish button to click at the top right of their screen. So now we can open up Profile, then go into the dashboard, which is located in the File menu. then e-signature, and then you'll see dashboard. And here is where we see the documents and status. Under status column, you'll see sent. So if you see it's taking a while to receive the docs from the customer, you can always send a reminder. For any in-software issues with DocuSign, such as error messages or unable to connect, then you can contact our support. However, if you have any issues with DocuSign itself, then you will need to contact DocuSign support. So you can go to their support.docusign.com webpage, and then you can get support there for any inside DocuSign errors or issues. Now on to Adobe Sign. Much like DocuSign, we must be signed into our Intuit accounts. In order to sign in, we go to Online menu, Sign In. Here we enter our user ID, which is most likely the email address, and then our password, and then sign in. And again, you must select the account you are using, and then you connect business. And then success, you're all set. So finish. So now on to connect to Adobe Sign. We go File menu, e-signature, connect, and we select Adobe Sign. If you do not have an Adobe Sign account, then you get one here. You click Get One here. Then the Adobe Sign window opens, and you can create your account and look at the plans and pricing. While creating your Adobe account, you'll need to enter a valid email address, usually the same one as your Intuit account email address that you use. Also, here you can see that you can get a 7-day free trial with the Adobe. Here you can select how you want to be billed, either monthly or yearly. And then you continue in order to add your information and complete your account creation. You'll then get an email from Adobe that says welcome to Adobe. To confirm your email address, please click the link below. So you can either click the link or copy and paste it into a URL, and this will allow you to complete your account. So you just have to follow the steps on the screen. Once that is done, you come back to Profile. Here we're going to click Connect. Then your Adobe Acrobat sign-in page will open, so you select Sign In. You also might get this confirmation page to confirm access, so you hit Allow Access, and then Profile successfully connected to Adobe Sign. Please close this tab and return to Profile. So now in Profile, you'll see that the Adobe Sign connected to Adobe Sign, and you can disconnect from here, and it says what account you're connected to. So now you just say OK, and now you can go and open your file, whichever file you want to send to the documents to your customer. Then you go into File menu, e-signature, and then you're going to select Collect e-signature. Here you're going to see the forms that you want that Profile will automatically select. So the T183, Authorized Rep, for Quebec residents, it'll be the TP1000 and the MR69. You can also select other documents to send to your client. So by clicking on this box with 3 dots, it'll bring you to your Windows Explorer. And this is where you can go into your documents or wherever your desktop and select a document that you want to include for them to sign as well. So you just select your PDF document, you add it, then you confirm that the email address is correct at the top, and then you select Send to Adobe Sign. Then it might take a couple of seconds, and you'll see it's creating the envelope, and then it's connecting, and then it connects. So now you'll get this type of window, confirm login. I say yes, and then here is my documents that are open in Adobe Sign. So now I can select where I want my client to sign. So now under signature field, I take the signature and then I add it here. This tells my client where I want them to sign. And then I hit send. Then the customer will receive an email. They'll have to click a link in order to sign in order to view the documents and then sign them and then send them back. Inside the Adobe sign, you'll see under Documents tab if you have any documents in waiting. Under e-sign, you'll see that you can sign or request signatures of the documents pending. In the meantime, while you're waiting for your documents to come back from your client, you can go into the File menu, e-signature, Dashboard, and here you'll see the status of the documents you sent to your client. So the status is created. So you know that under Actions they have not been returned yet. But this is where you can view where the status of your e-signature documents are. And then if you think maybe the customer forgot, you can then send request new. For ProFile in software issues with Adobe Sign, like for connections or error messages, you can contact our support. However, for any inside Adobe issues, you'll need to contact Adobe Support, and you'll find the support on their Adobe Support web page. So you can log in here and then find the support you need for in Adobe eSign issues. You may also find our community article helpful. So you can log into profile.intuit.ca, go into our community help, type in Get Started with Adobe Sign and DocuSign. Then you'll come across this article that explains how to get started with Adobe Sign. So getting started, sending, receiving, view the dashboard, disconnecting, and as well with DocuSign. So same thing, getting started, connecting, sending documents, receiving, and disconnecting. And then you can find some frequently asked questions here. I would also just like to mention that for new users, once you've installed ProFile and opened it for the first time, you'll get a type of pop-up that says collect e-signatures and ProFile, and you can get started from there. It goes through 3 steps, and you'll just need to choose which one you want to connect to, either Adobe Sign or DocuSign. Here's a quick example. When you open ProFile, you also get this collect signatures and ProFile window that pops up. You can just follow the steps, so 1, 2, and 3. It also says if you don't have accounts, you get started by clicking here. You can click here. To learn more, you click here. However, you can just follow the steps and then connect to eSign. And then it brings you to the integration as you've seen earlier. So either Adobe Sign or DocuSign and then connect. How to back up your files to ProFile Cloud. First, we will need to enable the cloud in the options settings. In ProFile, we go to Options menu, we select Environment, then you're going to see the Backup to Cloud tab. If you don't see it, then you can use the arrows. So here you're going to see ProFile's users can back up returns to the cloud for storage and security. So here's where we enable the backup to cloud on this computer, and then it's always best to select automatically backup returns upon saving. So we go OK. However, for new users or new installs of ProFile, upon opening ProFile, you'll get this type of window pop-up. It says Backup to Cloud, and then it provides you the Enable Backup to Cloud, choose when to backup, download on demand. So what you do here is you just click on the environment options, and it'll open up the same environment tab. And then you follow the same enable steps in automatic. Now that you've enabled the cloud to automatic, we'll go to File menu, Open, and then we're going to open a file. And here you're going to go to File menu again, and then Save As. At the bottom here it says Backup to Cloud Disabled. This means that we are not connected to our Intuit account. So we're going to click Activate Backup to Cloud, and then you're going to sign into your Intuit account here. So you type in your password and then sign in. And then it's going to show you select your business, so you select your business that you want to connect to, and then connect business. Then you're going to get success. You're all set. So now you've logged into your Intuit account, and now it shows enabled backup for this return. So this is always selected because we selected the option in the environment. So we hit save, and then you get this notification at the bottom that backup is successful. You can also back up multiple files to the cloud. So if you go to Hub, you can just follow the steps here if you haven't already. So got it. So go to Setup. Here you're going to just enable the hub and then browse where your files are saved. So once your file path is entered here, you're just going to select Read Files. You can take a few seconds. Once all your files are indexed, then you can see here with the scroll bar under backup status that these files are ready to back up. So what you do here is you're going to select the returns that you want to back up, and you go under Actions, and then Back Up to Cloud. And it'll say, please wait while backup returns to the cloud. This can take a few moments depending on how many files you're backing up. And then it'll come back to the workflow. So you just scroll over, and then as you see that the backup to the cloud has been successful, you get this little green cloud with a check mark. These have been backed up. Only T1 and T2 module files can undergo the backup to cloud through the hub, so many files at a time. For T3 and FX, you can only back up the files through Save As in the file. Now let's look at how to review our files once they've been backed up. So you go to Online menu, Download Returns from the Cloud. It's going to take a few seconds. And here we go. So now you're in your returns in the cloud. So you can see here all your returns that have been backed up. From here, we can download and delete files that are in the cloud. So for example, if I want to download this file, I select where I want the file to download. So I'll just use my desktop and then OK. Or if I want to download it to the same place that I have it already saved, so I would just follow the file path. So I'll just go in here and find my file path. So this is where I'm going to save it. I'll get this message saying that I already have the file. Do I want to override the file that's there? So I can either choose yes or no. So I'll just choose yes. So my file has been downloaded. Now if I want to delete a file from the cloud, I just click the button here and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to delete this file from the cloud? And you select delete and it's gone. Note that deleting this file from the cloud does not delete the file from your computer. So it's still in your file path that you save the file to. The convenience of the download from cloud is that you can open ProFile on another computer, log into the cloud. You can download the files that you don't already have in that other computer, and then you can save them to the same file path as the others. For more information on the backup to cloud, you can visit our community webpage, and there's a terrific article about backup to cloud. So this brings us to the end of our webinar. For more ProFile support options, you can visit our website at profile.intuit.ca, or you can call our phone support or contact our live chat support. Thank you for viewing. We will remain online a little while longer in order to answer any questions that are still lingering or any new questions that may arise in the next few minutes. Again, thank you very much.
if we run away? What if we left today? What if we said goodbye to safe and sound? What if we're hard to find? What if we lost our minds? What if we let them fall behind and they're never found? And when the lights start flashing like a photo booth and the stars exploding, we'll be fireproof. My youth is yours, tripping on skies, sipping waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now and forever. Whoa. My youth is yours, a truth so loud you can't ignore. My youth is yours. What if we start to drive? What if we close our eyes? Speeding through red lights into paradise. Cause we've no time for getting old. What a body, timeless souls. Cross your fingers, here we go. And when the lights start flashing like a photo booth and the stars exploding, we'll be fireproof. My youth is yours, tripping on skies, sipping waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now and forever. Whoa. My youth is yours, a truth so loud you can't ignore.